Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
You said Carter VI is trash. That's fine. That's what you want to say. But let me tell you something about my father and Carter VI. This is what I hate about you kids. The fact that y'all can get on TikTok and do a dance to it, that don't mean that it's trash, baby. Okay? The fact that you can get on TikTok and do a little 1-2 little viral moment for it, that don't mean that it's trash, baby. My dad was talking real shit. It's stuff on that album that you can hear in 2K, in games, at malls, at all type of stuff. It's universal, my love. Y'all need to take y'all minds out of the TikTok world and get to the real bag, where it is. My dad is a lyricist, babe. My dad really talks shit. So if you can't understand it, please move silent like the GM lasagna and get the here. Thanks. We are still humans at the end of the day. We all bleed the same. If you cut, I'm gonna be black. It's gonna be red, both of us. So it's like, yes, I know the life that I have, and I know the life that I'm a part of, and I know that people are gonna hate. I know that people are gonna have their own opinions and all of that type of stuff. But you gotta also know that I'm human like you. So put yourself in my shoes. But you got 100 million people just talking crazy. You never even met them a day in your life. And then they talking crazy about your people.
Wow. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Man, these reviews on Carter VI, I wasn't going to say nothing. I tried to hide it because I knew OG was going to have something to slander Lil Wayne's album about. OG, are you there?
Man, what do you mean slander? Why would I slander Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne
all behind that Super Bowl crap we was talking about, and I didn't want to talk about this because I knew you was going to come back and you're going to have a field day about this. But let me just be honest with you, man. Lil Wayne gave his all on this album, and a lot of people are saying stuff that they should not be saying about the GOAT.
If something sucks, it just sucks, bro.
No, his daughter's on here, Ray Janae. She didn't like this, bro. She always step up for her dad because, you know, a lot of times he's really he don't know how to attach himself to the different things that are going on out here. He's a nice guy, but this one here not going good for him, OG. I want you to not don't go in on him too hard because he's still from the South and we still keeping him. You know what I'm talking about?
Lil Wayne was a great rapper at the time. Right now, he's out of his element. He doesn't have the ear to the young drill, the new music. He doesn't have the tune. He hasn't stayed in tune with the street. He's been getting high too long. He's coming back off a hiatus. He should have left the Carter VI in the same position of the element and given it the mystery and have everybody anticipating and do other things, just like Dr. Dre. Everybody's still waiting on the Chronic. Every year they're waiting on the Chronic. And he put out something else with somebody else. And Lil Wayne should have rolled his wave gracefully in trying to step out, because right now we are being more articulate in rap music than that elementary Amelia.
OG, I'm gonna stop you right there. I didn't listen to this enough. This elementary and all that, man. He just made a bad selection on his production on this album, and people need to stop just jumping to conclusions and go and really just pay homage to the fact that he brought another album out, kind of like they did Andre 3000, and if you got a damn flute, let him blow his flute. If you got a piano on his back, let him, he is who he is. He is who we said he was, man. And that's the problem with y'all. You don't want to respect him.
But did you just say he made bad selections? That's on him. We ain't got to listen to no crap that ain't even relevant right now.
OG, wait a minute. I want you to just listen at this. You tell me how this is bad. Hold on.
Said f the Drake and bout the G-Lock. He run up Betty, get pop, yeah, I rap, but f this hip-hop.
OG, you heard that Big X the plug. OG, the bars that Big X has is there. This is one of the songs that I liked on the album. I was pretty much with the hip hop song. It had a nice little old, roll out the way they hit it. You got to give him respect for that.
But boss talk, you rock when you can rock back and forth. You 50, man. You ain't in the element right now.
Oh, gee, so what? You can't be 50 and rap. You agreeing with Rainwater? Old rappers need to sit down.
Need to sit down. Everything got an expiration date. If you can't stay up in it, he's not Mr. Big. He ain't a Charlie Wilson. If he was, he
ain't a Killer Mike. Killer Mike just won 3 Grammys. And Killer Mike out of Atlanta, he won 3 Grammys just a year ago or so at the Grammy Awards. So I mean, I thought old people could. I thought at that point old people could come back.
He got 3 Grammys. What's one of his records? I don't even know no Killer Mike's record.
Oh man, don't you do Killer Mike like that? We in the South, so of course you're not gonna know it because let me tell you something. What really I don't like, OG.
3 Grammys.
OG, let me tell you something I really don't like. You guys on the East and West Coast, y'all grab what y'all say and then y'all make it mandatory. I'm telling you right now, it's high time that stop. You guys keep pushing the narrative. I think that if he was living on the West Coast or the East Coast, y'all would have been praising him. And I really think that if he was on the West Coast with Kendrick, y'all would have been praising him. I'm sick of it, man.
You praise him on the South. The South got it going on right now, but you still need the West.
No, I didn't say we didn't need him, but it's just the way y'all pulling it, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, OG. This album wasn't the greatest album, but it was an album. And just for him to make an album, you should pay homage to him. Period. You young folks, it ain't a TikTok. Y'all heard Raise Your Name. But I am saying, it wasn't as good as I would have wanted it to be.
And speaking of TikTok, they ain't even playing it on TikTok.
No, so see, OG, you loving this, aren't you? You hell, OG, sit there.
It's not bragging at all. The album is not doing no numbers. And wait a minute, not you talking about the West. I ain't heard now one of y'all DJs play it in the South.
OG,
I just left you yesterday.
OG, I'm not gonna do this, man. Don't do this, man. They playing him in the South, man. Stop it, bro.
What not just in your big luxury sport? And we rode all the way to Meridian, Mississippi, and you didn't play it one time.
OG, it's not. It's just a different time. I'm rocking UGK for life. You know what I'm saying? I'm on something totally different. Of course you ain't here in my car because I'm an old school dude with an old school fling. So when you hear, he not on my. No, he not old as me. He's a peer. He's a little bit under me. He's basically on the wave of T.I. They're a little bit younger. That's a younger genre, But like T.I., you ain't seeing him come out with no new music. Just to think about that.
He bet not. He know better.
And it's a lot of people that wouldn't have made that jump. So you're saying he shouldn't have even came out like that. But what do you do? You come out like Andre 3000 with a flute album or something with a violin or with a piano?
Because see, when you're so limited and you're just an artist, if you can't create, okay, he was a hell of a one time of hitting shit off the head, but now his head then got cloudy. He had drug use, alcohol use, women use. So he ain't thinking like he did when his shit was fired up. So he's not in it like that. He can't do it. He don't have producers around him to bring him up. See?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you because if you look at J and them, they don't even do a full project. They drop singles. They drop little things. They know how not to go out on a limb and drop a whole project because they know the criticism coming. So they say they're retired and it's stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think his delivery method wasn't right for the time that we're in. I think he could have did it a different way and still been able to be appealing to the masses. I gotta say that if he'd have done that, and then also making yourself accessible to the people in a way that they feel like, you know, the people are out of touch with Lil Wayne because of the way that because social media is a thing now where you got to be engaging with social media in a way to where people can accept you and your attitude and the way that you bring things forth and the crowd of people that you keep. Like if he done went out and campaigned it with, and I might say his name wrong, Casa, not the little dude, and went DDG. You know, if he'd have went out and did something with them, it would have came out, huh?
Wait a minute. My daughter just got on me today that we speaking about this. She like, Dad, I am really upset that you didn't know who Casanata was. I still don't know.
We don't know who Casanata is.
I heard you in there arguing about Casanata. You don't know him and how, but still, see, Lil Wayne is an artist. And just like a fighter, you have Mike Tyson, you look at all the greats that had all, and then they try to come back when they out of their element and try one more fight, and then you lose. But not to make you a bad guy, but you had that fight. You feel what I'm saying? And I applaud Lil Wayne for even making a whole album. Now, it may not be shit right now, and it's not glowing right now, but by his standard, it may be after he dead and gone. Carter VI is going to be something sometime, but not right now.
It say Lil Wayne's Carter VI debuts at number 2, selling 108K his first week, and that's not near about what he used to seeing on the numbers wide scale. And you're right, maybe later on, but right now we're not feeling too good about it. And I think he's definitely who he is. He's who we say he is. We get it, but right now I think the way he delivered it, you got to be able to deliver in a different way and connect with the people in a different way in this day and age. And I think he pretty much dropped the ball on that. And I think a lot of the older artists, a lot of the older guys that aren't going live, that aren't talking to the people, that aren't, you know, you got a fan base out there. And you know this and I know this. Everybody coming up, you know, you can create a hell of a fan wave in this era if you know how to connect with the people. If you reach out to them, if you show them the respect that they deserve on this level with all the ways that people are connecting with the people. And a lot of these older guys and a lot of these older artists, they're not wanting to do that. They're feeling like their stardom is still going to keep them on the reach that they were at before, but it's not. And I think that's the cold part about it. And I think they're not doing it. I think a lot of times they call it corny. They trying to live by old law. They don't talk because they keeping it G like lasagna, silent. But it don't work like this in this day and age. You got to connect with the people in a way to where the people can see you, hear you, and relate to you and know that you're, you know, developing things on their level. And they're not going to respect it if you don't deliver it right. If you bring food out in a restaurant and you throw it on the table with no plate, then they're not going to eat it because they're going to say that ain't the way you deliver the food if you're at a restaurant. So at the end of the day, I think his delivery method was not good. I think a lot of the stuff that was going on with him in the behind the scene, you know, it hurt him. And so when you look at, and the way they look at you as, hey man, you know, you got to show us something that he could have did better, bringing out a Young Money situation with a group of people, you know, but he didn't do that. You got Nicki, you got all those people that are around him. He tried to switch it up too much. And I think that's what hurt him. And the production, not dealing with some of those producers that are premier. He could have came and got a Mustard. He could have came and got different people who are killing it right now, and he could have made waves with this, but he didn't. And a lot of times that's what people do.
And you tell his daughter for me, I said it still sucks.
Oh no, OG, don't do Reginae like that, because she's gonna come for you. Listen, she's not gonna play around about her dad's music. She's trying to figure out a way to let people know that her dad is not bad.
So what she do for a living?
Well, it ain't rap. That's for dang show.
Okay, she raps all right.
I'm not going to do that with you, OG. No, we're not going to do her like that. OG, I just think, I really feel like, you know, a lot of people had a high expectations from him after all the stuff went on with Kendrick and the way Kendrick pretty much was he even said his name in that last album. And not only that, he came to New Orleans, performed, did a hell of a job at the Super Bowl. But then a lot of people had their eye on him because of that. And then when he spoke out against the fact of not being able to perform in the Super Bowl, it put an eye on him, and people had high expectations, and they was comparing what Kendrick and his movement has been doing to what Lil Wayne's album Carter VI done versus the stuff that he did previously on all the other Carters, and it was just too much. I think he just basically came up against something to where he put himself in a situation where high expectations were expected, and he didn't deliver when it come down to the way that he presented it to a people who are not taking things the way they used to take them, and he delivered it from a different perspective that these people were not willing to hear. You don't have nothing right now, but don't mean that he can't have nothing. I agree with you, OG. Maybe at some point this thing peaks and history foretells itself that this was one of the albums that we needed in this time. I don't know. I don't see that right now, but I'm just saying what I've never seen. Well, Marvin Gaye stuff after he died, it went crazier.
Well, and I gotta say this because we ain't talked about it, but Sly Stone just died the other day.
Wow.
Right? So
R.I.P.
And these youngsters are saying, "Who in the hell is Sly Stone?" They they wouldn't even know Sly, and one of the greatest of his time, but his time was over, and he did not know how to transfer and transcend into the times, and he went oblivious to the times, and he died by himself.
Wow. A lot of people saying he needed better beats, man. Better beats, better production, better mixing. A lot of people are stepping up saying a lot of this stuff was, it just wasn't on the level. But that, like, again, OG, like I said, if he connected with the right producers in this day and time and connected with people who are connecting on the internet and brought some of those influences to the table, that's what Kevin Hart just did on the BET Awards. He brought Kai Sinai so he could bridge those gaps. I think that was a smart move, and I think more people need to start using those moves because you're going to need them. People are looking at everything on a collective level. They're not looking at it the way they used to.
You got to work hard, and you got to include. I mean, he would have did better on an album if he had co-wrote and did features with even Drake.
Yeah.
The conflict with Drake and Kendrick, the people that he has at hand that he could have dealt with. When you get old, you get set in your ways, and what we think is really cracking as a music genre, youngsters' ears are not the same. They're not attracted to the same thing that we're attracted to.
OG, if he'd have got away from hanging out with Skip Bayless and went and hung out with Kai Sinai or some of these other youngsters, that would have been a different turn. He'd been hanging out with Skip Bayless, the older guy. That's the guy, the white guy. He's the older guy that does sports and stuff. Got into it with Shannon Sharp. He's an older man, and he's probably around. He's not even into music. He's into sports, and he's hanging out with those guys. He's not even been hanging around people that's really just rocking with the music. He only rocked with his music, and he's an introvert right now, and I think that hurt him this time. I really do. I think he could have did a lot better if he'd have stuck his neck out and started hanging out with some of the younger crowd and dealing with some of the other producers,
These youngsters, let me tell you, it's tough to hang out with them. You have to choke some of them out.
Well, you done figured it out. Hell, he could have figured it out. He didn't even give it a shot. He
ain't got to figure it out. He rich and I ain't.
Well, it don't matter if he rich and you ain't. He still did. Rich didn't sell no albums. Rich didn't sell no albums. Rich didn't sell no albums.
I'm glad you said
so.
That.
Yeah, the people is what you got to connect with the people, man. Yeah, you do. OG, I'm not gonna do this with you. Hey guys, get in the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you think that this album sucked, or do you feel like it didn't suck? And do you think Ray J overstepped her boundaries, stepping out trying to tell people that he don't have to have a TikTok banger, and trying to correct the people's ear saying they don't have, does she have a dog in the fight? Can she change anything by the live that she done? Let me know what you think about her live, and let me know what you think about this whole situation. Is OG right, or am I right? You can say what you want to say, but like I said, I think his delivery could have been a little better, but he's still Lil Wayne, man. Hey, man, this ain't the Carter 5, the 4, 3, 2, or the 1. This the Carter 6. Just accept it for what it is, man. And if you're still watching, you can look at this. The prisoners pretty much, Massey and those guys are still at large groves, but Hudson, Sheriff Hudson and Kirkpatrick are having a blame game controversy over there over this situation, guys, and it got heated. Check this video out. It should be somewhere right here, man. Boss Talk 101 reviews.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.